What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Diesel Dog video. Winter is upon us. This morning it is a beautiful 34 degrees. This is my weather right here. I love winter. I love the cold. Can't stand the heat. Can't stand, anything over like 90 pretty much. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but when it's cold like this, we get these first cold mornings. I like to step outside and I feel that cold air in your lungs. Just wakes you up, gets you ready for the day. Love it. But with cold weather comes cold service calls, frozen up trucks, air systems freeze up, fuel systems gel up. Tend to spend some time outside in the winters doing the old diesel mechanics. So I'm going to show you guys my winter gear that I utilize for this kind of stuff. I got it all hanging on the wall here. This one, I got coverall, locked down, and then I got the overalls. I don't know, some people use different terminology, but to me, the coveralls have the sleeves. The overalls have no sleeves, just kind of bib overalls. So this is what I use. I've had the coveralls for years. I use these for years. I usually leave these at home now, but these work really good. I would say if you're in like anything that's going to be like 20 below, mostly coveralls can work pretty good because you got the sleeves. But I get hot easily, so I ended up getting the bib overalls. I like to use these because you can just have a hoodie on underneath and then your jacket on top. If you get hot, you can take the jacket off, and that usually works pretty good for me. But I don't have any Carhartts. I forget what brand these are. Let me find it. Ridge Cut. I got these at the Tractor Supply store. They were on sale. I'm balling on a budget. I don't have to have name brand stuff. These are Bernie, and I got this set like, I don't know, 15 years ago. I've had these. Wore them a lot. You can see mice got a hold of them while they were sitting on top of my box at one point. So like I said, I usually leave these at home. I'll get them out if I'm shoveling snow. I like to have the bibs at work, so we're gonna go ahead and grab the bibs. I'm gonna take these in just in case. Throw those up on there for now. Don't mind the paint. The other thing is a good set. I think I threw them in here. There we go. Got a hat. I've got a couple hats at work yet, but I'm gonna take this hat in just because I started wearing it late last year. You can see it's still pretty clean. I didn't really do much in it. I got a couple hats at work that are like caked in grease and dirt and stuff, so new hat this year. My gloves that I use. So I've got a pair of the Snap-on cold weather gloves. I've had these for years. This is the first set I got over a decade ago, probably it's been now. I've had this whole time. I wear them every winter. They've been amazing gloves. At one point, I bought a new pair with the lighter tan leather palms and like fingertips, and I lost one of them, so I only had one glove. So I had to go back to the old faithfuls here. I can feel they're getting pretty thin. They're getting worn. Maybe this year I'll get a new set, but these are great because they're thinner. They're not real bulky, and they're pretty warm. They always keep my hands pretty warm. I don't think they're waterproof, so what I'll do if I'm out in the snow, the little snow we get every once in a while, we get a snowstorm, I'll put latex work gloves over top of these when I go out to do something. If they tear, then I'll just put a new set of gloves over top, and that seems to work pretty good for wet, cold conditions. So once your gloves, like the water bleeds through and they get cold, you're done. Then you're back in the service truck with them sitting up on the defrost, trying to dry them out and warm them back up. The other thing I would invest in is wool socks. I absolutely love wool socks. I don't really have cold weather boots anymore. I used to have a pair of Wolverines that I would wear if it was like below 30 degrees, then I'd put those on for the day just in case. They keep your feet nice and warm in the shop. Also, if you go outside for any length of time, your feet stay warm. Again, once the cold starts bleeding through your boots, you're kind of screwed. If you're outside, if you don't have the ability to go back in the shop for a little bit, warm up, you don't want cold feet. I've had super cold toes before. They take a while to thaw out, and at some point it starts to become scary because you're like, dude, I gotta get this done. I'm in the middle of this, but also my toes are frozen. I don't want to do any damage to my body. Same with like your hands get too cold. You're like, dude, I gotta thaw out, but I have to finish this job. So you're torn between like just trying to knock this thing out, sacrificing your hands being frozen for a little bit, or trying to warm up. So having the right stuff, cold weather gear, helps out a lot in this job if you're in some cold states. But what I was saying, the wool socks have kind of eliminated my need for cold weather boots, at least here at my part of Illinois. We typically range between like 20s into the 40s, maybe 50s. Our weather fluctuates so much here. If we get a cold snap, it's gotten to be like where we have a week of like 0 degree weather, like 18 degrees, 12 degrees, or in the negatives in the evening and night. If you're outside it for any length during that, you're probably going to want some cold weather boots. So I don't know if I'm going to invest in any this year or not. I've been okay with the wool socks, some real thick wool socks. The only problem you run into there is if they're super thick, they might feel weird trying to slam your feet into your boots with them real thick like that, but I don't really have an issue. My Thorogoods are laced boots, so I can adjust for that. When I had the old Ariats here, trying to put thicker socks in there, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I always felt like I was stretching them out, but better than having cold feet. I do have these boots, the rubber boots, but they're not insulated, so I always wear double socks with those if I'm shoveling snow. Regular pair of socks, then a wool pair of socks, and that usually does the trick for me out here. But like I said, I like the cold, so some people may need to layer up a little bit more than I like to. I like to have as little as possible. I like the bibs with a hoodie, wool socks, a hat, some gloves, and I'm good to go, usually, no matter what the weather is. So I gotta grab these gloves, bring them in now that it's cold. Who knows, first job might be a service call or something today, and I used to leave all this stuff at work, but takes up a little space. Gets cold, I bring it back to work. So just in case. Don't want to be caught without the proper gear. I'm sure everyone's got their own preferences on this stuff. I've just been asked a few times like what kind of cold weather gear I use as far as being a diesel mechanic, and it really depends on what you're doing. Obviously, if you're out like a field mechanic, you're probably going to want some pretty hefty gear and be ready for any type of weather. I work in the shop. I just get called out on service calls every once in a while, and when stuff starts gelling up out in the lot in the dead of winter, you may be spending some time out in the lot trying to ungel some trucks or get it unfrozen, get pushed in the shop or get it running. A lot of service calls for like the truck stop up the road. When it gets cold, you end up like going up there trying to get trucks started every once in a while. So you never know how long you're going to be out there. It could be half hour, it could be 2 hours, and if your body starts freezing up, you know, you got issues. So make sure you got the right stuff. I know Mechanics makes, the Mechanics glove brand makes some pretty good, like cold weather gloves, and there's some other brands out there. You don't have to buy a name brand. That Snap-on set of gloves, like I said, I've had for years, so I've got my money's worth out of those things. But love the cold, man. I'm excited. It's cold, it's winter. Grow the beard out, make some chili, drink some bush around the bonfire. It's my time of year, man. I love it. So hot coffee in the morning when it's cold and brisk. I can feel it on my face, feel it in my lungs. Ready to go. I gotta get to work. It's decent time, baby. All right.